Hey guys, it's Kayla and Emily with Coffee+Conversions.
Today we're going to talk about leasing. Right? So lately I've been seeing on some of the forums that dealers are talking about leasing versus buying, and that some of their customers are more interested in leasing than buying, which is kind of maybe noting a slight shift in the market. And I didn't know if you'd seen anything about that.
Yes, and this is such a hot topic right now too, because I think because of the rising prices of all new vehicles, it's becoming more accessible for new car buyers to lease instead of purchase, because I think in the past it's been more prominent for luxury brands to have leasers, like people leasing, but now it's becoming way more accessible to all different brands, like the whole spectrum.
Right.
So that's one of the things I've seen. What about you? What have you seen so far?
Well, I just like to get on some of my clients' pages, and when I'm looking at their inventory, I like to dream about having a new car, and so I'll go, plug in the information, $5,000 down payment, and whatever the percentage is, the interest rate. And some of the vehicle, like the new Honda Pilot, depending on what trim, they can go up to almost $50,000. And so, I'm plugging my information, and for a 72-month payment term, it's over $700 for a car payment. And
a month.
A month. And so I think that a lot of car buyers, leasing doesn't have the bad reputation that it used to. I don't know about you, and maybe this is more of like a generational thing, but when I was growing up, I was always told, don't lease. You always want to buy because then you own it. But the tricky thing is that when you buy a vehicle, that doesn't necessarily mean you own it unless you pay for it outright in cash.
Yeah, that's so true.
The bank owns it. So leasing gives you an ability to get a really quality vehicle that you're not going to own at the end, but you have a lower payment term. You're not responsible for the regular maintenance. So I think it can alleviate the burden or the stress of a high car payment for drivers who want something reliable and new and stylish without having to fork over a rent payment for their car.
Yes, especially if you're already paying rent payment or a mortgage, so it's good to have the lower price. So I know a lot of times a typical lease will run about 24 to 36 months, and so at the end of it you can always trade in the lease that you currently have for another lease, so it's really easy. You can even get like a different type of vehicle, different model, so leasing gives you the ability to try out different types of vehicles, which I think is great too, so you don't own just one specific car, you kind of can try out many different things. And then if you do eventually want to buy, then you can buy that model, because at the end of a lease, you do have the option, I think most of the time, to buy out your vehicle, or you could give it back. So that's always nice. And I think too, it's great with the maintenance that you mentioned earlier, the maintenance and service. It's just like owning or renting an apartment, not owning an apartment, not owning. Because if you have a maintenance problem or a plumber, you need the plumber to come fix a leak, you can just put in a service request, and because you're renting the apartment, they can come and fix it, and it's free of charge. Usually, it always is. And that's the same with leasing. So if leasing your car, if something happens, you can just bring it to the dealership and get it serviced, which is very nice, because if something happens to your car and you own it, you have to pay out of pocket for that, and it can get really expensive, as we all know as car owners. So
another thing I wanted to mention, going off what you said, is when buyers, or when leasers, I guess, go back into the dealership when their lease is up, that's a great opportunity for the sales team at the dealership. If you're getting your lease customers back into the showroom every 2 to 3 years, so that's the potential for a sale every 2 to 3 years, and then that also helps boost their used vehicle market. Which in turn just kind of helps the whole dealership all around. So I think that's there are pros to leasing as a consumer, but there are also pros to marketing your leasing offerings as a dealership as well.
Yes, especially if you if you make some custom, a landing page that talks about leasing, because that really helps with your SEO, and it helps customers see and learn a little bit more about leasing, especially since it's becoming more common to lease now. So if you have a landing page, you kind of feature your ads on social media, you have a social media post about it, get the information a little bit more out there, and people can see it. That definitely helps, almost the same as coming into the dealership. So they can see it, come in.
And we can run PPC ads too.
Yes.
And those are awesome because they're real-time edits, you know, so when your lease offers change in a new month, we can just boom, update them, done, and then people who are in the market will see like, oh my gosh, $199 for a brand new 2019 Camry. That's insane. I've been wanting a Camry for so long. I'm gonna go check it out.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just a really great opportunity to market. If you have questions about how to best market the leasing opportunities at your dealership, you can always contact us at dealerauthority.com.